Hey everyone. Okay, decided I better test this manifold, and so what I did, see, this block had two of these, screwed them on there, just used coach bolts into the timber. There's a bit of rubber inner tube, coach bolts I use. And on top, I said, yeah, screwed another bit of wood, there's another bit of rubber tube in between it. And I cut the valve off the tube, drilled a neat hole, and like a tight hole, I had to actually hammer that in. So that's a valve stem. And I used the air pump, it only put 50 pound in it. And yeah, I found it was leaking in quite a few places around these butt joints, like little tiny pinholes. And I re-welded, yeah, all of them except for, there's one right down in the middle here, in between the two pipes, and I tried, and I just could not get the weld to cover it. So then I tried brazing. I got a brazing rod, but I've got this MAP gas torch. And I thought I melts it, but it wouldn't. I couldn't get it to run down in between the pipes anyway, and like spread out properly. You need an oxy torch or pinpoint torch, you know, like a very hot pinpoint torch to do that. And it just wasn't going to do it. And I mean, if I had an oxy torch, I wouldn't have bought these bends and butt welded at the beginning. I'd have probably chosen some thicker wall pipe to begin with, and I'd have sand filled it and just, bent the whole things in one piece. And there's videos on how to do that. You cap the ends, you fill it with, you cap one end, fill it with sand, cap the other end, like, weld a plate on it. Doesn't have to be fully welded, because it only has to be tacked, because you're not trying to stop air getting out, you're trying to stop sand getting out, so you don't have to go to any great detail. But yeah, once it's packed with sand, you can heat it up, bend it in any way you like, and the sand will stop it from crushing and kinking. So, as I said, if I had an oxy set, I wouldn't have had this issue to begin with. If I had a TIG weld, I could have TIG welded it neatly and not had any holes. Part of the issue too is that my welder's mucking up. I really need to get onto it. It hesitates, when you initially start welding, it doesn't weld straight off. It spits a blob on it, and then it welds half a second later, and that's basically what caused the problem, the leaks, because I was only doing tacks, so I was trying to not have any daggy penetration hanging through on the inside, causing any obstruction. And that's another part of why I've got air leaks, because I was trying to not burn through it. Anyway, so the only option I've got left now is to cover it with epoxy. And I only had a little bit of it left. I'm going to go up the shop shortly and buy some more. But this is like a steel weld epoxy, JB welds type stuff. But just to be on the safe side, I'm going to cover all of these joins. There was another leak just down in here, and I haven't ground the head off that weld. That was a bit daggy too, but that must have been a burn through, because these come right through and they were fully welded on this side as well. So I probably didn't even need to do those welds in the first place. But yeah, it must have blown through it a little bit in one spot. There was only one little spot where it leaked. It was only a tiny little, pinhole type leak. But yeah, you can see, I'll put these through the sandblaster. I sandblasted these bits where I'm going to put epoxy. Then I blew them out with the air, and then I washed them with acetone. Trying to make sure that this epoxy sticks permanent. But I'm going to go around all these as well and run epoxy around them. And probably up here, like there wasn't any leaks in here, but I might just run some around it anyway. and just paint the rest of it. I won't test it again after I put the epoxy on it because I don't want to risk lifting any of the epoxy. Like this is sucking anyway. It's not pressurized, it's not blowing. It's, you know, vacuum pressure. So yeah, in theory it should be pulling the epoxy in, whereas if I pressurize it with air, it might actually lift it off. So I'm not going to pressurize it a second time. I know where the leaks were, and yeah, like even, yeah, a thick coat of paint, yeah, would have probably blocked it up anyway, but yeah. But anyway, that's the dilemmas you get when you haven't got, you know, the right tools for the job, and yeah, a welder that's not actually working the way it's supposed to. I think it's only the tip. I've got new tips somewhere. I'm just gonna have to go searching and figure out where I did with them. But anyway, that's the way it goes sometimes, you know. Things don't always work perfectly, and yeah, you've got to do other things. So hopefully, yeah, my biggest worry about doing this with the epoxy is that, you know, down the track somewhere, the epoxy might lift and start leaking, and you know, you only need a minor leak to cause a major problem, you know, with you. Yeah, a little bit of an air leak is just going to muck it right up and won't idle properly, and it'll run lean. You can overheat it. Yeah, like Volkswagens overheat if you run them lean. So, yeah, so hopefully I don't get a problem down the track with it. The other option too would have been to, you know, not put these second bends on and just extend this main body right out to the first lot of bends. That would have actually saved me buying more bends. But that's another option that I could have done, but anyway. Okay, that's where we go. I was a little bit disappointing on how many leaks it was, and especially by having a leak right down here where I couldn't get to. But that's the way it goes, and yeah, hopefully it all works. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.